Have you ever considered the profound similarities between the vibrant green of a leaf and the deep red of our own blood? At a molecular level, the molecules responsible for these colors, chlorophyll and hemoglobin, are almost identical. Both are structured around a complex organic ring called a porphyrin. The only significant difference lies at the very center of this structure. In hemoglobin, the molecule that carries oxygen through our veins, there is an atom of iron. In chlorophyll, the molecule that captures sunlight for photosynthesis, there is an atom of magnesium. This striking chemical similarity raises a fascinating question. What if these two central atoms were swapped? What if animals evolved with chlorophyll-based blood and plants with a hemoglobin-like sap? It's a scientifically plausible premise, a single atomic substitution that would cascade into a world unimaginably different from our own. Let's first imagine a world where animals have chlorophyll-based blood. In this reality, the red blood cells, or erythrocytes, would no longer be red. Instead, they would be filled with chlorophyll, rendering the blood a vivid green. This new fluid would be far more sensitive to light and noticeably less viscous than what we know. A critical challenge would immediately arise from this change: oxygen transport. Chlorophyll is exceptionally poor at binding and carrying oxygen compared to iron-rich hemoglobin. To survive, animals would be forced to evolve alternative systems. It's likely they would develop a hybrid oxygen carrier, perhaps something similar to the copper-based hemocyanin found in some invertebrates, which would lend their physiological fluid a bluish tint. This would result in a complex green-blue circulatory system. But the most radical adaptation would be the integration of photosynthesis directly into animal biology. To harness the power of the chlorophyll now coursing through their bodies, their skin would need to become semi-translucent, housing specialized chloroplast-like organelles. This adaptation would allow them to perform a version of photosynthesis, gaining a small but significant portion of their daily energy directly from sunlight. This solar snacking could realistically account for 2 to 5% of their total energy needs. However, this newfound ability would come with a severe thermal danger. Chlorophyll is thermally unstable. Excessive heat causes it to break down. Therefore, these animals would have to meticulously regulate their body temperature, strictly avoiding overheating to prevent the chlorophyll in their systems from degrading into toxic compounds. The visible appearance of these creatures would be astonishing. Under direct sunlight, their veins would glow with an emerald green luminescence as the chlorophyll fluoresced. An injury would not release red blood, but rather a viscous, slightly fluorescent green fluid. Even species covered in fur would need to adapt. Their hair would likely evolve into specialized fiber optic-like structures, designed to channel sunlight directly down to the skin to fuel their internal photosynthetic processes. Life for these green-blooded animals would be a delicate balance between harnessing the sun's energy and avoiding its perilous heat. Now, let's turn our attention to the plant kingdom in this alternate world. If plants were to evolve with a hemoglobin-based vascular system, their internal fluids would be fundamentally transformed. The xylem and phloem, which traditionally transport water and nutrients, would now carry a dark, iron-rich hemoglobin solution instead of sap. As a result, the fluids coursing through every stem, leaf, and root would be a deep crimson red. This single change would trigger a catastrophic failure in their primary function: photosynthesis. Hemoglobin is structured to bind oxygen, not to absorb the specific wavelengths of light necessary to convert carbon dioxide and water into glucose. The green machinery of life would grind to a halt. To survive, plants would be forced to evolve entirely new photosynthetic pigments. They might turn to alternatives like bacteriorhopsin, a pigment used by some microorganisms that absorbs green and yellow light and reflects purple. This evolutionary pivot would dramatically reshape the global landscape. Forests would shift from verdant green to a hauntingly beautiful mix of crimson stems and deep purple leaves. creating what could only be described as a red leaf Earth. Paradoxically, while their energy production would become less efficient, their internal logistics would be supercharged. Hemoglobin is incredibly effective at distributing oxygen, which would accelerate metabolic reactions throughout the plant. This enhanced internal efficiency would lead to the development of denser, more robust structures, such as stronger stems and more extensive root systems, making them hardier than their green counterparts. The visual consequences would be shocking. Cutting down a tree would cause it to bleed a bright red fluid, a dramatic and unsettling sight. This efficiency, however, would carry a significant risk. The accelerated flow of nutrients and fluids would also allow plant diseases to spread with devastating speed, potentially leading to rapid, widespread die-offs. The evolutionary effects of this swap would ripple throughout the entire ecosystem, fundamentally altering the flow of energy and the relationships between species. With animals now deriving a portion of their energy from the sun, their need for food would decrease. This would lessen the grazing pressure on herbivore populations, allowing plant life, despite its new challenges, to face a less voracious world. However, the herbivores that remained would face a new challenge. The purple-leaved plants, with their less efficient photosynthetic process, would produce less glucose. To obtain the same amount of energy, herbivores would need to consume far greater quantities of plant mass, fundamentally changing their feeding behaviors and daily routines. Predators, in turn, would adapt to this new world. They might evolve sensory organs capable of detecting the unique green light reflected by the chlorophyll-rich blood of their prey, giving them a new way to track and hunt. Behaviorally, the entire animal kingdom might shift. The chemical danger posed by direct daylight, the risk of chlorophyll breaking down, would likely make nocturnal or crepuscular lifestyles more advantageous. As a result, the night would become a far more active and dominant period for life. The climate itself would not be immune to these changes. Purple-leaved forests would absorb more heat than green ones, contributing to a gradual increase in global surface temperatures. Furthermore, the slower, less efficient photosynthesis of this new flora would lead to a steady decrease in atmospheric oxygen levels over geological time, creating a world that is not only visually alien, but also fundamentally harder to breathe in. And what of humans in this strange new world? Our own physiology would be radically altered. We would possess emerald green blood, flowing through veins that might appear as intricate, glowing patterns beneath our skin. To survive the inefficiency of chlorophyll-based oxygen transport, our bodies would likely have evolved a secondary copper-based respiratory system, resulting in turquoise-colored plasma mingling with our green blood cells. Our skin would have adapted, developing light-harvesting microstructures to capture solar energy. Daily life would include a new form of sustenance. People could maintain low-level activity purely through sunlight absorption, a necessary practice that might be known as solar napping. This connection to the sun would come with immense risks. A simple sunburn would become a life-threatening event, as the breakdown of chlorophyll molecules in the blood would release a flood of toxic free radicals, causing systemic damage. Medical protocols would be unrecognizable. Blood transfusions would require specialized, light-protected equipment, and surgical procedures would be conducted in darkened operating rooms to prevent the patient's blood from degrading upon exposure to light. Our culture and society would evolve around this new biological reality. Architecture would feature sun terraces and expansive glass structures, designed not for aesthetics, but for essential energy absorption. Fashion and cultural values might even shift to highlight the visibility of green veins as markers of health and beauty. In sports and medicine, new metrics would arise, with an individual's photosynthetic capacity becoming a key indicator of their physical fitness and overall well-being. Ultimately, we are left with a vision of a red-leaf Earth, a world defined by the stark contrast of green-blooded animals and crimson and purple forests. It is an ecosystem operating under new rules. Lower oxygen levels, slower growing but sturdier plants, and animals existing in a state of partial sustenance from the sun. It is a world where a single, minute molecular change, the substitution of an iron atom for a magnesium one, has fundamentally rewritten the script of life. This thought experiment serves as a powerful reminder of the delicate and intricate chemistry that underpins our existence, demonstrating how one small alteration at the heart of a molecule can cascade outwards to reshape an entire planet.